find out about that Miami starting quarterback here right away. Carolina won the toss. They defer. Here we go. The 16th ranked Hurricanes against a team that has been a pain for them in the ACC. The Tar Heels. Jeff Thomas with the return. He is very dangerous, but takes a big hit at the 15-yard line, maybe the 16. That's where Miami will have the ball to start the game. And who's going to start the game? It is the redshirt freshman. And listen to this stadium. And in some ways, look, we have sympathy for Malik Rozier, who's won a lot of games for Mark Richt, but there is so much excitement about Nkosi Parry, his talent, his recruiting profile, his potential, and the way he performed last week where he came in and was awesome. And so these Hurricane fans are looking forward to watching number 5 play. He will take the first snaps tonight. Travis Homer, an experienced and talented tailback, in the backfield alongside him. And a play fake right away. Parry delivers on the money. And that is why they love this kid. It's one play, but he has got a lot of talent in that right arm.
Great shot down the seam. A different start than he had from last week. Last week they started with short, in control, easy access throws, play action, splits the safeties, and again, a huge explosive play on the first play.
And Michael Harley, the quarterback Parry had some chemistry last week. Harley had the biggest game of his Miami career. He has a 28-yard catch on the first play from scrimmage for the Hurricanes. Parry will hand it off to Homer, and Travis Homer gets tackled right around the line of scrimmage. Jason Strobridge, who is a local kid and a very talented guy, along with some other talented defensive linemen for Carolina.
Yeah, Jason Strobridge was a kid from Deerfield Beach, right down the road here. Again, Miami recruited him. A lot of the Florida schools recruited him. He's going to be a really good player for North Carolina. Keep your eye on him tonight. Very disruptive player.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Hurricanes. Carolina almost jumped. Parry will hand it off again. And again, just nowhere to go for Travis Homer. He goes backwards. Trey Morrison, true freshman, who's playing a lot of snaps for the Tar Heels defense with the play. And now we get our first 3rd down for Miami and their young quarterback. 3rd down, a point of emphasis for the Hurricanes all offseason. They were not great on 3rd down in their opening game loss against LSU. They've been better since. We'll see tonight on against a talented North Carolina defense. So it's 3rd and 11 for Nkosi Parry. Jonathan Vilma, by the way, maybe huffing and puffing a little bit. We'll see how good a shape he's still in. Is back with us in the booth. Had a quick hitter, but the tackle well short of the first down. Daryl Langham with the catch. It's going to be 4th down. Miami's going to punt the ball away.
I like what University of North Carolina did on that. They brought a pressure from the outside. They said, I'll let you complete a 7-yard hitch. I'll tackle it and get off the field. And that's what they're going to have to do tonight. They've got to be great on 3rd downs. They've got to stop these explosive plays on 1st down, which we saw them not do earlier in the game. But that was a great 3rd down call by John Papuchis.
It is Jack Spicer who's going to punt. He will be the primary punter tonight for Miami. They've had all kinds of problems in the punt game. This is a shorter end-over-end punt, but the fair catch made at about the 16-yard line. That's where the Tar Heels will take over. Before we hear from Jonathan, let's go back downstairs to Laura Rutledge.
We're about to see Nathan Elliott coming on the field, guys, for North Carolina. And he said that this game against Miami last year is actually still very fresh in his mind because they did come up short, but they felt like they should have beaten then the number 8th ranked Miami Hurricanes. He said this game's about unfinished business for them. It's about proving that they can get it done the second time around. He's had a second coming this season, really taking his own mind out of the game, not thinking too much, guys.
That was the mantra for last week. He's going to keep it on 1st down here. Did get over that initial push, but only got a couple of yards. So it'll be 2nd down for the Tar Heels. Welcome upstairs, Jonathan. How was that down with the smoke, with the entrance? Was it fun to be down there?
It was a lot of fun to be down there. The best part was the fans. They were into it. They still remember me from 14 years ago.
You look like you were going to hit somebody down there. I thought you were going to hit somebody, JB.
I will hurt myself and break my shoulder.
Well, Jonathan is here with us upstairs on second down. Elliott will throw for the first time. He's got a wide open man for a first down. North Carolina outside the 30, close to the 35. That's the senior Thomas Jackson with the catch. And here's what the Tar Heels want to do. Go fast.
Yeah, this was part of their game plan. We spoke to the offensive coordinator, said he wanted to go up tempo. We understand Manny Diaz. He does a great job of mixing up and disguising, confusing the quarterback. So tempo is going to be the key for North Carolina.
Yeah, I think that tempo might have gotten a jump from Joe Jackson.
Offside. Defense. Number 99. Jumped into neutral zone, causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty still. First down.
All right, so Jonathan, you mentioned Manny Diaz. He is the defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes, and a very good one. You played a lot of good defense at this level. At the next level, you're playing against a high-tempo offense. Is there a key for everybody out there on the defensive side?
Oh, you always want to key the GOAT, either your man or the quarterback, someone that's going to give away the runner pass.
The 4 receivers, 1 tailback. That's Antonio Williams, the transfer from Ohio State. And a quick hitter to Thomas Jackson, the tackle short of the first down. It'll be second and short. That's Michael Jackson, who has played well, the senior on the outside. Trying to get organized, trying to get lined up properly. North Carolina, and they're using some tempo here. They will go at times in this game even faster than this. Second and 2. Elliott throws. That one is caught, the big hit. But the receiver hangs on to the ball. First down. De'Ami Brown, a true freshman that North Carolina thinks has a big-time future.
Well, this is exactly what Nathan Elliott has to do. He did it last week. He threw high-percentage passes. He threw bubble screens. He threw slants. He threw easy access throws where he is accurate, and that's the way they got to move the chains tonight.
We got 2 running backs now. One of them is the sophomore Michael Carter, Florida native, who's a talented kid. They love their running backs. The Tar Heels do. Jordan Brown, the junior from Durham, is on Elliott's left side. First down, Carolina. This is Carter right up the middle, a huge hole. Carter still on his feet inside the 35, down to about the 33.
Great design right here. You have man-on-man pulling to get, as you mentioned, Michael Carter out in the open space.
That's 22 yards on the ground. Miami's not giving up a whole lot of big plays since that opening game against LSU. They did give up a few against the Tigers. Carolina trying to substitute with the play clock starting to wind down.
What they're doing right now, Dave, is a muddle huddle where they don't want UM to substitute, but they want to get their guys on.
From a pistol style look, Elliott with some time takes a hit and delivers along the sideline. It is a catch for a first down. That's the tight end Jake Vargas.
Well, going back to the muddle huddle, it makes it hard for Manny Diaz to see who North Carolina is bringing in so that he could substitute correctly and call the right defense.
I don't know if that was a catch or not, and the fans just saw the replay.
Rolling on the field. Other catch for a first down is under review.
Well, they saw what we saw, and the replay officials are going to take a look. While they do, we'll take our first break. Scoreless, but Carolina on the move. Back right after this. Dave Fleming, Gene Chizik, Jonathan Vilma back here in Miami along with Laura Rutledge. While we were away, the replay crew took a look at this play and overturned the call on the field. Jake Vargas did not get that right foot down in bounds. So it's not a catch. It's not a first down. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for North Carolina in scoring position in Miami territory. A very impressive start for the Tar Heels offense. Elliott with all 3 running backs in the backfield with him, including Antonio Williams right behind. Carolina gets the play snap. They're going to give it to Carter, who turns the corner. Carter with that burst of speed down the sidelines, cuts it inside with the power, running inside the 10 and inside the 5, where it's going to be 1st and goal.
This is exactly what Coach Kabilovic and Coach Fedor were talking about when we talked to him on Tuesday. They have to get a running game going. Both Michael Carter, he is healthy. Antonio Williams, he is healthy. They've got 2 running backs that can stick it up in there.
That has been the key to this 8-play, 79-yard drive. First and goal. They're going to throw it, and it's incomplete. Elliott, a little too high, intended for Daz Newsome.
And Gene, to your point, I really like how they established the run with the running backs. They're forcing Miami to fit up the run game correctly. It's not just a zone read. We have pulling guards. We have fullbacks in the backfield. They're going to have to be very sound with their run assignments.
And we've seen the talent of both Williams and especially Michael Carter already. A play fake. Elliott trying to keep it. That is the wrong place to go. You challenge Shaq Quarterman, and a lot of times you go backwards.
No, Shaq Quarterman, he has really worked on his weight. He's keeping to a diet. He's doing a tremendous job of keeping himself in shape so he can be explosive and make plays like that.
You know, he's just got an unbelievable knack for being around the ball. He feels things that you can't teach, he's able to do.
And now 3rd and goal. From the 5. Elliott looking to throw. He's got time. Kind of lobs it up there, incomplete. Did not get it all the way to Daz Newsome. 4th down, and the field goal team's going to come out.
Dave, great stop by Miami defense. They were able to hold at the time when it really counted, almost a bend don't break type of situation in the first drive. Then they can get back, regroup with Manny Diaz, and get after North Carolina offense.
Yeah, and they're going to have to regroup because they got hit on some plays in that first drive. That chalkboard's going to have a little smoke coming out of it right now. They got to go back and make some adjustments. That's a great red zone stop.
Basically like an extra point here, just 22 yards for Freeman Jones, who is a typically reliable kicker. That one, he hooked it, but it's through. Man, that was probably a little less easy than Carolina thought it would be. There is a penalty flag down, though.
There is no foul on the play for illegal formation. The field goal is good.
So they'll pick up the flag, and we will take it to a timeout here in Miami. Great drive for Carolina.
He knew this play was over from the start. Both backs and the foot pattern that they take is too easy.
We love it. Shaq, so fun for him to play along. When you play linebacker here at the U, you got a lot of good role models. And Shaq Quarterman's got a pretty good one in Jonathan Vilma. Gene Chizik is with us as well. That's kind of cool to hear.
That is
these guys
pretty
are still
cool.
looking up to
but
you.
Now he's aging me now. You know?
He said you're a
Way
bad
back
man,
then.
though.
Back
You're a bad
then,
man.
way back then, I was a bad man. But, you know, it was great because I had guys like Michael Barrow and Ray Lewis. They would do the same thing when I was here, and they would come, they would help, they would teach. So it's really me paying it forward and passing on to Shaq.
Well, tremendous history here, obviously, with this program. It's very cool to have Jonathan with us, all the names and numbers that are here inside this stadium. Hurricanes, though, are playing from behind. It's just 3 points, but North Carolina with a nice start. They got a stop on defense. They march down the field, kicked a field goal to take a 3-0 lead. And it's worth repeating. Carolina's run defense stuffed Miami last year, and that was when the Hurricanes were a top 10 team. And Carolina has been a very tough opponent for Miami these last many years.
If you make Miami one-dimensional, it's going to be a long day, especially for Nkosi Parry making his first start in conference play. The offensive line has to fire off the ball and execute in order to get the run game going.
2nd down and 8 for the redshirt freshman, who got a big ovation as he took the field to start for the first time as a collegiate quarterback. Completed his first pass down the field for a nice game, but then was stopped. Parry this time with that strong arm all the way across the field out to the 40. That's a Miami first down, and that's the true freshman Brian Hightower.
People are going to look at this throw and say, wow, you know, that's okay. That's a long distance throw. That's a field cut, out cut. Those are hard to throw and hard to catch.
I think it's a good point. It looks simple, but that is a little indication of just the pure talent of Nkosi Parry. We'll take the snap here on first down and hand it to Travis Homer. The nice cut back, and he finds some room to the 40, to the 30, inside the 20. Travis Homer stretching. And not quite there. Just a couple yards short. Carolina with the big plays on the ground. Miami answers.
What makes that play so exciting, they had 8 guys in the box. You see here, just stepped out of bounds before getting into the end zone. North Carolina put 8 guys in the box specifically to force Nkosi Parry to check out of it and pass the ball. Kudos to offensive line, getting man on man, getting Travis Homer open.
Well, that was great vision by Travis Homer. You see him, everything was blocked up on the front side. He cut it all the way back. Great vision, great speed. Great job by him.
And now Homer, who might be breathing a little heavy, 56-yard run. He comes out. DJ Dallas is going to walk in. So Homer does most of the work. DJ gets the touchdown.
He gets the touchdown. He gets the glory. But, you know, we got, again, Gene, as you mentioned, him with the vision to cut it out the backside. That's special. You don't see too many running backs. They like to keep the ball front side, play side. Him with the nice vision to cut back and make that play happen.
Well, I think that's what makes him special. That's what makes him a home run back. He can see those cuts. He has that vision to wind it back. And when he gets in the open field, guys, he's got a chance to outrun the defense. That was just a great play by them and a great play by him and the offensive line.
Plus, if you're number 13, DJ Dallas, you don't apologize. You get the touchdown, take it. He puts Miami ahead. Extra point is up and good. Very impressive from the Hurricanes.
And Dave, we go back here as we watch Travis Homer with a great run, but give credit to offensive line. They stacked the box, able to cut back the natural seam. Almost a home run, didn't quite get there, stepped out of bounds right before the end zone. But DJ Dallas Jones, he's over there, he makes an easy touchdown.
16 Miami, 3-1 North Carolina coming off their first win of the year. Disastrous start for the Tar Heels, much better last week. They were up 3-0 now, playing from behind on the kick return. Anthony Ratliff-Williams, who is one of the better return men in the ACC, maybe in the country. Carolina will have the ball for a second time. Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Well, Dave, we knew that Miami safety Jaquan Johnson was a game-time decision with a right hamstring injury for this game. He came out and went through the full warm-ups out here on the field and actually said he was feeling good. But Mark Richt had told us he would err on the side of caution, trying to make sure that his guy's fully healthy. We are seeing Johnson, though, kind of raring, ready to go into the game. He changes his defense, guys, if he can get in there.
He does. It's good info. We'll pay attention to whether Jaquan Johnson does get in. Meanwhile, speaking of health, Anthony Ratliff-Williams, who is about the best playmaker that Carolina has. He limped off pretty badly, I thought, after that kick return. He tweaked his ankle at the end of their win against Pitt. That would be very bad news for Carolina. Antonio Williams with some tough yards out to the 30 for the Tar Heels. This Hurricanes defense has been a big play defense. And in a good way, tonight it's been a big play defense, allowing those two 20-yard rushes against Carolina. Unusual for them.
It is unusual, but kudos to UNC for doing a great job of scheming that Miami defense.
Elliott on second down. The pressure picked up, at least at first. That throw, his receiver came back to get the ball, and that caused a pretty short gain for the Tar Heels. It'll be third down.
Yeah, Dave, we always talk about the first 15 for an offense. They have their set plays that they're going to run. They see the defense, and then they're going to have design plays to start the game, and then go back into what they usually run after that first 15. North Carolina did a good job of that to start the game.
That's one Green. Got a couple maybe. It's third and a long 5.
This is where Manny Diaz dials up some exotic blitzes. He changes them every week.
They will rush 4, and here comes a pressure. The ball's out. Scooped up the Hurricanes defense into the end zone. Touchdown, John Garvin. After Quarterman got the hit and forced the fumble. And look what makes its first appearance. You get the turnover, you get the chain. It's the original.
It's still the best so far. I mean, we have the backpack out there. We have the throne out there. Nothing is more exciting than watching that turnover chain come out.
They souped up the chain here in 2018. Low snap, good a hold. Kick is good.
It's really taking on a life of its own. When I was down there pregame, the chain comes out in this guarded suitcase, and everyone's looking and taking pictures of the suitcase. I mean, it's really become its own animal.
Well, what cause the chain to come out of its case this play.
Well, we talked about Manny Diaz dialing up defenses, right? Here you can see the left end. He steps up 3 yards, comes and loops underneath. They get a 2-on-1 on the guard. He comes free, gets the sack, the fumble, and then you get the touchdown for the Hurricanes.
You talk about a great look. Look who's making that. The left end was Shaq Quarterman. You don't really see that look coming from Manny Diaz. That might be one of those defenses of the week for North Carolina.
Right, that's a great job by him because he stepped a linebacker up into the B gap, really got the guard's attention so the end could loop and come free. The guard couldn't come off on him. It was a clean break for the defensive end.
Isn't it funny how all the stars on this Miami team, and they got a lot of them, the biggest star might be the turnover chain.
It is. It really is. The turnover chain is worldwide.
A flag thrown on the kickoff, which is a touchback. Maybe Miami offsides. We'll see. You got to milk it. Got to wear the chain for a while, especially after you scoop and
Offside.
score.
Kicking team. The 5-yard penalty will be added on from the 25 to the 30-yard line. First down.
Okay, so that's where the Tar Heels will start at the 30. Meanwhile, Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Great weekend coming up on ABC, and the best matchup of all in the Big Ten. Top 10 to number 4 Ohio State on the road to take on the Nittany Lions. It'll be a whiteout. Our Goodyear college football rankings get Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, then Ohio State. All those undefeated teams, and a lot of them are going to be tested, maybe no more than the Buckeyes in front of the whiteout. And quarterback news for Carolina. Nathan Elliott, first 2 series, gives way. Chaz Surratt, who is a talented sophomore, his first action of the year. Michael Carter, with his speed, got to the outside. He's not just a speed back. He's got some power, too. For more on the new quarterback for Carolina, let's go down to Laura.
Dave, Larry Fedora told me before the game he wanted to play both quarterbacks, and he would wait until he thought they needed a spark offensively to bring Surratt in. He said the one thing he was concerned about is he doesn't want to shake Nathan Elliott's confidence. He's worked so hard this season to build his confidence back up, but he said either way, we got to have the best guy in there to win.
That may be out the window now. That one knocked down incomplete at second down. And of course, Chaz Surratt, part of the controversy at Carolina. They had a whole group of players who were suspended during the offseason for the first several games. He was one of them, so he missed 3 games in total. A guy who played last year a lot and played pretty well. Got hurt in this matchup against Miami, taking his first snaps here in 2018. Welcome to college football this year, Chaz. Now go up against the Hurricanes, and they're hard hitters. He goes backwards.
Going back to what Laura said about not shaking his confidence, I mean, the quickest way to shake a guy's confidence is to take him out as soon as he makes a poor play. I mean, keep him in and let him go, because Chaz got knocked out of this game last year. He may still have some of that remembrance from that and may try too hard in the start of this game to prove he can still play.
Well, we're going to find out. The Miami defense, that's what Gene's been talking about. All the blitzes, and they look different. They feel different. They are one of the most pressured teams in college football. 3rd and 12. Surratt got rid of it quickly, incomplete. Maybe too quickly, intended for Jackson. It's 4th down.
Well, again, this is what you see from a Manny Diaz defense. 3rd down. They're number 1 in the country in getting off the field on 3rd down. Why is that? Because he's going to dial up the pressures. He's going to dial up the blitzes, and it makes guys nervous. That was like a bubble
After
screen.
the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Wow, that is a big penalty against a guy who's played big, Gerald Willis III. That keeps North Carolina's offense on the field.
Yeah, surprisingly uncharacteristic of Gerald Willis. He's been a phenomenal player to start the year. He's wreaked havoc on opposing offensive lines. Was unnecessary. Let's see what happens.
We'll see if we can see. Pointing right at Jackson, and that got the penalty flag. I mean, not a whole lot, but that draws the flag.
Those are the defensive penalties that drive head coaches crazy. No need for it. We're off the field. It's 3rd down. Now we're going to line up there and have to play at least 3 more downs.
I hear you, Gene.
And Carolina's into Miami territory. They are going to go Wildcat. Ratliff Williams And the misdirection, the ball got to Carter, the running back, and he has a nice gain for another Carolina first down. That's what Carolina likes to do. Misdirection. They use Ratliff Williams that time as a decoy. Carter with another big gain.
Yeah, they forced Miami to be sound and disciplined, and Miami's going to have to respond. You have one negative play, a little adversity go against you. How are you going to hold up now against this Carolina offense?
It's good news no matter what for the Tar Heels. The number 17, Anthony Ratliff Williams, is on the field. He limped off after his kick return. It's 1st and 10. Carter's already got 81 yards on the ground. Surratt, option play, kept it, and takes a hit, but dives forward, and I think he got the first down. Well, this was at the end of that play. Going back a few plays.
Tell you what, Trajan Bandy needs to be very careful. The referee was right there. Could have easily been a disqualification.
Well, Bandy, who's already been disqualified from one game this year for a targeting penalty, gets to stay in the game. Beautiful but steamy night. It still feels like summertime here in South Florida. That's the way the Hurricanes typically like it. It's part of the home field advantage for number 16 Miami. They've got a defensive touchdown on the board. They lead 14-3, but with the help of a big Miami penalty, Carolina on the move. 1st and 10 inside the 20. Chaz Surratt, his first series as the Tar Heels quarterback. And it's a similar formation. We've seen this already in this game with all 3 running backs in the backfield with him. Surratt will give it. No, he kept it, and that fooled the Miami defense. Surratt, touchdown. Great ball handling, and then you saw the athleticism. Carolina takes advantage of the penalty, and they cut down that Miami lead.
That formation gives defenses problems. It's a 3-back formation. So now you're worried about which way you're going to have to fit the run because you've got 2 potential blockers with a tailback. Now all of a sudden you got a 4th problem. The 4th problem is the quarterback can keep it off that action. That was a great play call and a great job by Chaz Surratt, sticking it in the end zone.
Extra point is up and good. With some help, an answer for the Tar Heels. I think they needed it. 2:11 to go here in the first quarter. A very quick break here from Miami. Chaz Surratt just into the game. The ball handling, the speed, the cut, and a touchdown for the Tar Heels. Back in just a few seconds.
Take your razor, yep. Up and down, never side to side, Shakim. You got it? Come on, stay focused.
Hard work, baby. Gonna pay off.
We are back here in Miami. That was a quick break. Your Week 4 NFL Sunday countdown coming up at 10 Eastern this Sunday, presented by Snickers. The gang will preview all the games. There's some interesting ones, including the Dolphins, who share this home with the Hurricanes, going up to play the Patriots in New England, a big game in the AFC East.
3-0 Dolphins. You thought we'd be saying that.
I don't think many did. The state of Florida has played pretty well at the NFL level. That was a disappointing start for a lot of the teams in Florida on the college level at the beginning of the year. Florida State gets run off their own field by Virginia Tech. Miami did not play well against LSU. Several of those teams, maybe not the Seminoles, but the Hurricanes certainly feeling a whole lot better about things. Miami will get the ball back. And it looks like it will be the freshman Nkosi Parry to stay in the game. And this is interesting. We didn't know how Mark Richt, we still don't know how he wants to play this, but so far he's going to stick with his young quarterback.
Well, the young quarterback has been playing well. We haven't seen much action of him, but he's made the throws that coach has asked of him. He hasn't forced the issue. He hasn't turned the ball over. That's key.
He's 3 for 3, 47 yards, a couple really impressive deliveries. He looks so young. Malik Rozier, who has played so many games and won a lot of games for the Hurricanes. Parry, for now, is the quarterback for Miami. 14-10, the Hurricanes lead. From their own 25, they will throw the ball on first down, and that block finally was made. Jeff Thomas got to the corner. Gain of 5, and part of why this decision, we figure, and Mark Richt really hasn't talked much about it at all in terms of specifics, but it doesn't take a whole lot of digging to figure out against Power 5 opponents. The last 4 games, Malik Rozier has struggled. 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, completing just 44% of his passes.
Dave, he has struggled, and when you watch the film, it's the accuracy that's the issue. He makes the right reads. He just doesn't put the ball where it needs to be.
And that's sort of the opposite for Parry, where they're trying to get him up to speed, and they feel like he is up to speed now with the mental aspect. There is no issue with accuracy. This guy puts it on the money. This time to Darrell Langham once again into North Carolina territory.
Well, let's go back to the discussion, because we talked about, yes, Rozier struggled. But let's talk about what Parry has done. Last week he goes into the game. First 2 drives, 86-yard touchdown drive. Second drive, 68-yard touchdown drive. Look at him tonight. 4 for 4, right? Or 5 for 5, 75 yards. He looks sharp. He looks crisp, making really good decisions.
And look, maybe it's a little bit of a stretch. Thursday night college football, last week Thursday night NFL football. Baker Mayfield came in the game. The Browns offense looked totally different. Last week, that's really what happened with Miami. There's the first incompletion for young Nkosi Parry. Their offense just, it was a totally different look as soon as he took the field. And I think that's why we got the reaction we did from these Miami fans when he made the start tonight, because they're excited about the potential for this offense with number 5 leading the way.
Yeah, and we should also mention, Coach has seen something in practice that we haven't been able to see, to know and feel comfortable to put him in the game.
2nd and 10, final minute of the first quarter. Parry is going to run, and this is a part of his game too. We'll see if he gets down. He did not slide, and he gets the first down because of it. Clock moves. Miami, maybe not quite as high tempo as North Carolina, but trying to use a little tempo on offense. Parry with his first real scramble. They got a Miami first down. We've got DJ Dallas alongside of the backfield. And Miami jumps. That was Brevin Jordan, the true freshman tight end.
Ball start. Offense. Number 9. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Now, Gene, did you ever use some of this muddle huddle, force good defenses or good defensive coordinators to stay basic, not allow them to substitute, and not allow them to call their game plan that they like?
Sure, that's a great strategy, and there's no doubt that it has its effects. We're going to see how it unfolds, but yes, it's a good strategy to start this game.
Now, Miami's going to be content to allow the final seconds of the first quarter to tick away. Hurricanes will switch sides of the field and have the ball to start the second quarter, trying to add to their lead. Very entertaining first quarter. ACC opener for Miami, and some big plays from the Hurricanes. Travis Homer on the ground. DJ Dallas punched it in. Then the defense, the turnover chain. We got invitations. We got the real deal. But the Hurricanes and the Tar Heels, they know how to have a good time.
Miami is always known for a good time.
Yes, it is. And the smoke is not just reserved for the players. The cheerleaders, the fans got some too. DJ Dallas, first play of the second quarter after the 5-yard procedure penalty. It'll be second down and long. Let's go down to Laura.
Guys, we talked a lot about Malik Rozier and how he would be handling this situation with Nkosi Parry starting instead of him. On the sideline, he's kept a good attitude. He's been smiling, and even when the team has had success, he's gone over and congratulated everyone, especially the O-line after Travis Homer's long run, guys.
Not easy, you imagine, and it's not necessarily a permanent change. We don't know that yet. What we do know is Nkosi Parry has made a great first impression. DJ Dallas broke a tackle to the outside and down to the 21st down Miami.
It says a lot about his character, Dave. He's a guy, fifth-year senior, could easily pout, could be a cancer to the team. Instead, he is uplifting the team. And to be honest, that is a reason why you see the offense playing so well, because they have a rock and Malik Rozier still supporting and helping out.
Miami's starting to pile up the yardage now on offense. First and 10 from the North Carolina 20. Travis Homer in the backfield. He'll get the ball on first down. A couple of yards.
You know, I'm actually surprised. I thought I would see more movement by the secondary of North Carolina to confuse Nkosi Parry. Right now, I'm seeing movement from the defensive line, trying to confuse the run blocking scheme. They're stagnant in the back end. They need to move around and make Nkosi think a little.
Second down and 8, and we'll see if North Carolina starts to mix in maybe a little more disguise as this first half goes along. Parry in the pocket, now dancing around a little bit. Parry's got to protect himself, and that's one thing for a young quarterback who does have athleticism.
He'll learn that as he realizes the players are a little faster, a little bigger. the hits hurt a little bit more. He'll learn to slide sooner than later.
Well, I think you got to give North Carolina's defense a lot of credit. Obviously, they've struggled stopping the tailback run game. That was a great job on the quarterback scramble. They know that's what Parry brings to the table. He brings a guy that can ad-lib and make things happen with his feet. That was a great job to get them into 3rd and long down in the low red zone, give them a chance to get off the field.
Well, let's see on 3rd down, which has been such an emphasis for the Hurricanes. Parry throws across the middle. It's knocked away, incomplete. Good play on the ball there by Carolina. It'll be 4th down, intended for Langham. Patrice Rene knocked it away.
You know, coming into this game, North Carolina was not playing great red zone defense. And I don't like the way people qualify what's good red zone defense and what's not. It's not about scores. It's about touchdowns. North Carolina was giving up 8 touchdowns out of 10 trips down there. That's why that is a huge stop for the Tar Heels going forward here.
Yeah, I think it's well said. It's not about whether the team scores or not. It's about whether they get in the end zone or not once you're down in this part of the field. This is a 35-yard try for the true freshman Bubba Baxa, who's been pretty impressive early in his Miami career. He punches it down the middle, and it's a 7-point lead for Miami. Thank you, Allstate. University of Miami, University of North Carolina, the redshirt freshman Nkosi Parry, impressive in his first start for the Hurricanes. He in Miami with a 17-10 lead. There have been some mistakes on each side, and Chaz Surratt gave the Carolina offense a nice boost when he came into the game, took advantage of one of those Miami mistakes. It'll be a touchback. Carolina will start at the 25. Their run game, Gene, has been impressive.
Well, Coach Kapilovic talked to us about the importance of having a healthy Michael Carter. What you're seeing tonight is a healthy Michael Carter. Going into this game, Miami had given up 78 total yards on the ground per game. Right now, because of Michael Carter and his explosive runs, North Carolina is already on its way to 100 yards rushing in the first quarter. This guy's a huge reason.
The rush defense has been stout, but Carter and the Tar Heels better than 100 yards so far tonight. Carter himself with 81. And a play fake. Chaz Surratt, who can really move. Look at him leap over tacklers outside of the 45-yard line. He does bring a different element to this North Carolina offense.
Much more mobile than Elliott is. And North Carolina has come out with this wishbone type of offense, and he's done a tremendous job of blocking. All the guys are blocking and counting for. But Chaz, with his ability, he's able to leap over defenders and make the play.
Penalty flag thrown. I think Carolina might have moved.
False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
To your point, Jonathan, that was the exact same play that they ran down on the goal line where Chaz Surratt scored previously in the other. That's a great call by the offense. They're taking advantage of what they're seeing defensively with the same formation and the same play call.
I tell you what, I had nightmares playing against those type of offenses, especially with a mobile quarterback. It's extremely difficult to stop.
Well, make no mistake, when Larry Fedora's had good quarterback play, his offense is produced, period. And if Chaz Surratt can play at a high level, Carolina's going to be tough on a lot of people in the ACC.
Well, you see what's happening now. Because of the run game, you have to force the issue and bring more guys into the box, opening up the pass.
That was the first catch of the year for Bo Corrales, who had a big game last year against Miami. He's one of the players who had to serve that suspension, making his debut tonight. Carolina is almost a full roster for the first time tonight here in Miami. That run got close, but stopped a little short, so it's going to be 3rd and maybe a yard.
We'll look to them to go back to what's been working. You have that wishbone, gun, wishbone type of offense. You can go either way with it. It's very hard to defend and expect Chaz to keep the ball.
Well, let's see. The 3 backs plus the quarterback. He does keep it, and he gets the first down. Good call.
Great call, John. And again, why wouldn't you? It's 3rd and 1. It's a critical down. You got to keep the chains moving. They've run it 2 other times with a lot of success. 3rd and 1, I'm running it again until they stop it.
You know, it'll be interesting in the second half. They're going to have some sort of pop pass play off of it for a long play action bomb. I could see that coming, and he's setting up Manny Diaz and his defense.
1st and 10 into Miami territory. And Carter this time just had nowhere to go. Guess who leading the way? Shaq Quarterman having a huge first half for Miami.
He's playing really good football. Talk about running through. If you're a linebacker, you have to trust your instincts. He trusts it, and he shoots the gap, makes that play for a tackle for loss.
We already saw he's been studying you.
The younger version of me.
Is that a Jonathan Vilma-ish play right there? Is that
felt like it to me. He used that clicker. He's watching. Well, here we go. Carolina does like to do this. Ratliff Williams, who can throw the ball, handed it off from the Wildcat, and Carter gets swarmed all the way back to midfield. He goes down. Gerald Willis led the way. He had some help.
That's why he leads the country in tackles for loss. That's why this defense leads the country in tackle for loss. Look, they came into the game averaging 11.5 tackles for loss per game. That is off the chart. Guess who leads it? Willis.
He is so explosive at that 3 technique. His spin move, I haven't seen an offensive lineman block that yet. His swing move.
And now it's 3rd and 17 after Willis made the huge tackle for loss. Surratt, pressure comes immediately, and he throws a pick right into the breadbasket. Joe Jackson, touchdown. The chain's going to be coming out. That is the 2nd time the Miami defense has not just forced a turnover, but has scored on a turnover in this first half.
So, Gene, this is eerily reminiscent of last year's game where they turned the ball over. They were within 1 score after already giving up a pick 6, or excuse me, a fumble recovery for a touchdown. And here we go, turnover chain. Now they're opening the lead and forcing North Carolina out of that game plan.
Well, all Joe Jackson had to do was hang on because he threw it right in his gut. Extra point is up and good. Carolina's doing some things well, but 2 turnovers that have led to 2 touchdowns for Miami.
Well, I can tell you this, Chaz Surratt wish he had that back.
A teaching point for all you quarterbacks out there. Don't do that. Yeah, we educate here on Thursday Night College Football. And how about the turnover chain for the Hurricanes? On a Thursday for Penn State, Ohio State, top 10 matchup, maybe the game of the year in the Big Ten. Certainly one of them, one of the games of the year in college football. We will be there to cover it all starting here tonight as they get ready for that one. Meanwhile, Miami with the 24-10 lead. Their defense is rocking. Coach, another turnover for the Hurricanes.
Well, again, you know, you go back and you watch Joe Jackson on this. If you look at him before the play starts, we call this retracing on a screen. If you watch this go, he's going to work against the guard. The guard sets, he gets turned free, and he smells a rat. So right now he digs his cleat ground, he retraces, and he feels the screen. That's not by accident. That's a great job as a defensive lineman realizing, look, this pass rush is too easy. I smell a rat, must be a screen. Great job by Joe Jackson.
The only problem is when you turn it over and then score, you can't wear the chain for very long because you got to get right back on the field. Michael Carter, meanwhile, goes backwards. Another tackle for loss for this Miami defense. Well, it's a small problem, but I think
what they did was
wear the chain.
Well, yeah, he checked out, so he was able to wear it a little bit longer. He's not in. He said, "Coach, I'm tired. I just need to wear it a little bit longer."
He's taking it off now. That is already the 6th tackle for loss for this Miami defense in the first half. And we got a long way to go in the first half. Can Carolina recover? Surratt keeps it. This has been about the best play for the Tar Heels, and Chaz Surratt in the open field is really impressive. Takes a hit at the end of the play, but out close to the 45.
That's a great play call again. Chaz Surratt, that's what he brings to the game. He brings an athletic presence on the perimeter. That time they did a great job. The tight end bypassed, and he gained an extra blocker on the perimeter.
Nathan Elliott was in the game for the first couple series. A little hesitation move on the first down run, gain of a yard.
Well, Gene, the issue with the play is Chaz got knocked out for something similar. If you keep running your quarterback, eventually something bad is going to happen. He's going to be put out of the game. Then you're going to be forced to use Elliott.
And I like that point, Gene, because he could have gone down, take your gain of 15, 16, and just protect yourself. You like your guy to fight for some extra yards, but this time Brown gets the carry, and another one just added to the column. This time Mike Smith, who doesn't even play a lot of snaps, he was in the backfield right away.
Well, let's go back to the last point, Jonathan, you just made. Very valid. But that's what quarterbacks have to do. You got to protect yourself. This game is about longevity and being able to be available.
Exactly.
You're going to not be available if you don't get down on those downs, especially when you see these large safeties and corners coming from everywhere for those big hits.
Gene, this is where they didn't want to be. 3rd and long against the Manny Diaz defense.
The best third down defense in the country. 3rd and 10. Surratt. Here comes the pressure. He'll step up and get hit from behind. The ball comes out. A huge hit from behind. He didn't see it coming. Carolina did. Pounce on the ball. That's number 99 again. Joe Jackson almost got the chain again.
Well, we talked about this a little bit off the air. You know what? Joe Jackson wasn't on that touchdown by accident. He's always around the football. I love his relentless play. He works. He never stops working. He's going to fight and claw and scratch. He's a physical player. He plays hard. He's always around the football.
As long as he gives credit to that secondary for holding up in coverage so he can get around and use that relentless effort to get that sack.
Well, Surratt had some time. Couldn't find a place to go with the ball. Miami almost blocks the punt. Hunter Lent to Jeff Thomas. And he angled it. And you do realize that's where John went to school for 4 years.
Really?
Yes.
Is that why he liked it so much?
Oh, don't be jealous, Gene.
Oh,
you know
I'm a hater.
You can apply anytime.
Just
I don't think I could get in there, trust me.
Down in Coral Gables, the Hurricanes playing some football tonight. Nkosi Parry takes off and will get dragged down from behind across the 25 out to the 26. For more on the freshman quarterback, let's go down to Laura.
Yeah, Dave, these Miami coaches were wondering how Nkosi Parry would develop in maturity and leadership, and he's been very vocal on the sideline, coming up to the offense after every series. If it doesn't result in a touchdown, taking responsibility himself. Also, senior center Tyler Gauthier has been in constant communication with him, asking him if he wants anything else, needs better communication, and look for maybe him to target Michael Harley on this series. He told his receiver it was a good connection last week that he would try to get it to him, but then again, all receivers are asking for the ball, right?
Yeah, that is sort of what they do. Thank you, Laura. 2nd and 5 for Miami. The handoff, left side, big hole. Dallas, first down and more to the 45. DJ Dallas out of bounds right around midfield.
Dave, this is a very nice setup. You have 2 tight ends that are lined up, and the North Carolina defense is short a man. They tried to play 2 safety over the top of the receivers. That left that side wide open for a gash by DJ Dallas.
So it's a good point. It's a play with the athleticism of the running back, the blocking of the offensive line, but also a play that starts in how you get lined up.
Correct. They had no chance before they got started.
Nkosi Parry and this Hurricanes offense, they are humming now. Travis Homer gets dragged down. We're going to talk about it throughout our telecast tonight. You heard Adnan and Joey and Jesse before the game, hopefully discussing Kelly Bryant transferring. Trevor Lawrence takes over. We know what's happened at Alabama. It is becoming more of a story around college football. Young quarterbacks pressuring the veterans, and now it's happened here at Miami.
Well, you see the talent, and the coaches have all been right so far. When you look at, okay, this is a backup, he's coming in, but he's not playing like a backup. He's playing like a starter, and has been very efficient and very effective.
Against a conference opponent and a team that's given Miami fits the last few years. Play fake. Parry's going to get those shoulders squared around the arm strength and the completion inside the 10 down to the 5. There's that connection that Laura was talking about. Michael Harley.
What I love about that play, Nkosi Parry did not settle for the easy throw up front. He went through his reads, through his progression. So you watch him roll out, he's looking forward, and as you notice, then he goes through his second and third read and gets the ball out there to Mike Harley.
Well, I'll tell you what else is really interesting about that. It's extremely difficult, Jonathan, as you know, for a quarterback to roll to his left and throw when he's a right-handed quarterback.
Yes.
He was really good throwing, and he was accurate on the move. Obviously, it was a busted coverage. But again, I've seen quarterbacks do that and overthrow those wide-open receivers. That's a tough throw, much tougher than people think, going to your left throwing.
Part of his athleticism. That's why he was highly recruited, because he can go out, roll out the opposite way, as opposed to some quarterbacks, most quarterbacks, who can only go out to the right to throw to the right.
Well, they're taking a look. Helmet off for Nkosi Parry. Headset on. They're just checking, I think, to see where the ball should be spotted, not whether the pass was actually completed or not. So they're taking a look upstairs, and we'll get our ruling.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed that it is a catch for a first down. However, the ball will be placed at the 5.5-yard line. At the 5.5, first down.
So they're going to move it back just a little bit for first and goal, Miami. A flick of the wrist.
And again, Gene, you talked about how hard it is to roll to your left if you're a right-handed quarterback. He's able to torque his hips, get the arm out there, get the ball out in front of him, as opposed to underthrowing him, as now they have the reception on the 5-yard line.
And let's not minimize Mike Harley on that catch.
Good catch.
Great catch. And again, he showed up last week big time. 7 catches, probably his best game ever.
And you saw that C. He's wearing the captain. They changed captains here at Miami. You earn the captaincy for a certain game based on your performance the previous week. And Harley is a game captain this week for Miami. So it's first and goal. Play clock winding down. Hurricanes trying to punch it in again. They get the play snapped. Parry keeps it and takes a big hit. I want to minimize that the way this kid is playing.
You know, quarterback draw is one of the top plays that you can run with a guy like Parry. You know, they emptied out the backfield. He was the only thing back there. They had basically attached tight end, 4 wideouts, trying to open everything up for the quarterback draw. But here's the downside to that. The first play that the defense is talking about when you show that in the red zone is quarterback draw. And that's where North Carolina really did a nice job stepping up and defending it. Great job by them recognizing formation.
And we always made sure to make a team play left-handed. If they liked the quarterback draw, we were going to stack the box to force them to throw.
Well, now they load up the line of scrimmage, Miami does, and send Parry under center. He will throw the fade. It is incomplete. Trying to catch it on the deflection. Lawrence Cager's kind of their jump ball guy. Couldn't quite hang on.
Well, he's the guy that leads this team in touchdown receptions. He's 6'5". Look, it's not rocket science. You're going to look for a 5-10 matchup. So if you sit there and you look, I got my guy one-on-one, no safety help. I'm going to take the shot and play the odds. Normally he comes down with that because Cager's a huge presence out there.
And Gene, one of Nkosi Parry's rare bad throws, he could put that ball up even higher and throw it to the pylon. Let your big man go and get it.
Greg Ross just got a hand in there, so now it's third and goal. From around the 5, Travis Homer alongside Parry to throw again. All kinds of time, and it's a touchdown. Fitted into Darrell Langham. And this Miami offense looks a whole lot different with number 5 leading the way, and that is not to pile on for Malik Rozier, who's had a good career with the Hurricanes. But the kid has come in, and he is playing a heck of a game tonight.
He is playing very solid, and all the talk prior to this game about, well, he only did against FIU. This is a conference opponent. North Carolina is giving Miami all kinds of fits the past few years. I mean, he is shredding them right now.
30 and about to be 31 on the board, or not. How about that? Deflected and no good. The point after try. What set it up? Well, that impressive throw that we diagnosed. Didn't take the short one. Moving to his left, throwing back across. Michael Harley, those two have a nice connection these last couple weeks. And then on third and goal, just calm the freshman in the pocket with a little touch throw. right through the hands of the defender.
$5 per month per line, each with unlimited gigs. Plus, get up to 4 free phones, all on Boost's super reliable, super fast nationwide network. Boost makes it easy.
The Miami student section already on the national watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. They've had a lot to cheer about already tonight. North Carolina going to get the ball back. Tar Heels started pretty well in this game. Now down 30-10 with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Anthony Ratliff-Williams nowhere to go. While we have a moment, Carolina gets the ball back first. Let's check in studio with that man.
Well, Dave, coming up on the Mazda halftime report, it's the return of halftime pick'em as Jesse and Joey go toe-to-toe, calling the biggest games of the weekend, including Ohio State at Penn State. We'll preview that matchup. Plus, what's going on with Clemson? Kelly Bryant decides to transfer once he loses his starting job. Speaking of moving on, Jonathan Velma with us a week ago. Now they're with you, Dave Fleming. I see how it is. Back to you.
Yes, yeah.
Man on the move. Man on the move.
I think Jonathan is quite enjoying being back here in this stadium with his Hurricanes playing well. 30-10. 1st and 10. Chaz Surratt trying to make something positive happen before the end of the half. And a good gain on first down.
Yeah, I mean, this can only last for so long. When you're losing by 3 scores, you're going to have to air the ball out. If you notice, North Carolina has not taken any shots down the field. At some point, they're going to have to test the Miami secondary.
Miami does have all 3 of their timeouts. Just keep that in mind in case they can get Carolina into a 3rd down type situation. This is Williams straight ahead running. And Antonio Williams, the Ohio State transfer who had an excellent game last week, gets a Carolina 1st down.
Well, it's critical that they establish a tailback running game along with a quarterback run game. And again, Williams last week rushed for over 100 yards. He's another physical back, but they got to keep the tailback running game going.
And I think they have done both. They got better than 140 yards rushing. Surratt, though, is going to be flipped over. Does a somersault. As Shaq Quarterman gets another tackle, and now a timeout is used. So a quick timeout for us. Elliott is coming in. We'll be back in 15 seconds. Well, Michael Carter with the quick catch. They went a little too fast even for us. Nathan Elliott had to come in. The helmet came off for Surratt, so Elliott had to come in. He completed the quick hitter out to Michael Carter for 12 yards. And a North Carolina 1st down, and now Chaz Surratt is going to come back
Official
in.
timeout for
Shaq
injury by the
Quarterman
defense.
is down on defense. And we'll see. I don't know if that's a cramp or something maybe a little more serious for the star middle linebacker. He has played super for Miami in this first half. So while they look at Shaq Quarterman, he's going to get some help getting off the field. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo, and we can't wait for this one on ABC with the crowd, with the atmosphere. The Nittany Lions at home against the Buckeyes. That has been a classic matchup in the last couple of years. Nittanyville is a little quieter than it has been most of the afternoon. The students, are they getting a little homework in while they wait to get in on Saturday night? They will be a lot rowdier come kickoff time. That is 7:30 Eastern on ABC, live on the ESPN app. You can watch anywhere. Shaq Quarterman, and it's not a cramp. He definitely is limping off the field. Let's see.
The good thing he's able to walk on his own.
Let's not forget how tough this guy is. Think about last year.
Yes.
He tears his AC joint in the Florida State game and plays 8 games with that, with his shoulder in a brace.
Terribly painful injury, and he hung in there. This throw, another dangerous one, and that goes way backwards. Man, the tackles for loss are piling up. Surratt's got to throw that one away, doesn't he?
That's the 10th tackle for loss, and they've only run about 36 plays. So do the math.
Yes.
Do the math on this one.
Do the math. That is about a quarter of the plays for North Carolina have gone backwards. And that was a big loss. 2nd and 15. The clock moves. So they're wasting time as well. Surratt throws, knocked down. And he took a big hit from 2 Hurricanes.
And Gene, watching the pressure on that play, it's almost as if the North Carolina offense doesn't want to throw the ball deep, because if they give too much time, the offensive line can't stop a Gerald Willis. They can't stop a Joe Jackson. And you see the pressure that's getting into the backfield on Chaz Surratt.
10 of their 37 plays have been negative plays. That's what coach was talking about. 21 seconds to go, 3rd and 15. And if you're North Carolina, maybe a minute ago you were thinking points. Now perhaps you're thinking avoid disaster.
I would do something very conservative here just to get into the half.
They are going to throw the ball, and it is picked off again. Can this one come back? They've already scored twice on defense. They're not going to score here, but it's another turnover this time. Javonte Dean with the interception.
And Dave, that's exactly why I said something conservative. You're watching Chad Surratt. He does not read the defense well enough. He thought that the hips would turn and he could get that ball in. The wide receiver was not ready for his easy interception.
North Carolina lined up in a bunch formation. It means all 3 receivers are tight. And when they dispersed, all of them went and spread the field. He tried to throw the wheel route. He never saw it coming. The receiver never turned for the football, and Dean made a great heads-up play on that for the pick. They're lucky that didn't go the other way for 7.
Well, listen to the reaction. As soon as they break that thing out, the fans go nuts here.
But I tell you what, I disagree with Larry Fedora's play calling there. I would have told the offensive coordinator, run the ball, let's get out of this half, regroup, and then get rolling in the second half. Instead, try to go for a home run and get in field goal position. It ends up going the other way.
So Miami has 11 seconds to play with. They're going to call a timeout. They still have 2 of those. They have a field goal kicker who has not attempted many. He's a true freshman, as long as a collegiate kicker, 38 yards, but he's got a big, strong leg. So the Hurricanes, now they can be the aggressor and try to get some more points on the board before halftime.
So we always played these scenarios out. 11 seconds, 2 timeouts. That gives you opportunities to shoot for the end zone. You don't have to just run the ball into the middle of the field and settle for a field goal.
Right, that's the great thing about what's their idea right here? Is their idea to get 3? Is their idea to take that shot, Jonathan? Is the field goal kicker going to be good enough to hit a 51-yarder? If so, you can take a shot to the end zone. If you feel like, nope, we want to get the 3, then you try to hit a 7-8-yarder, get them in better range. We're going to see what they decided to do on this play.
11 seconds to play with 2 timeouts. Nkosi Parry from the shotgun is going to hand the ball off. DJ Dallas straight ahead. Dallas on the move. Inside the 15, he gets down. Clock moving, 4, and they will stop the clock with 4 seconds now. Ticks down to 3. That may make the decision for Miami. They'll send the field goal team out there.
And that's their answer. They said, look, let's go in with momentum. Let's not get the ball in this position and go in with nothing. Let's go in there. Let's kick a field goal with time running out. Get the momentum. Let's get 33 points by halftime and get the momentum. That was a great call.
I agree, Gene. I like the play calling there. It's an easy field goal, a nice chip shot, and frankly, that's what Fedora should have done on the other side. They wouldn't be giving up these 3 points right now.
Now, they did miss an extra point, so we won't take it for granted until it's booted through, but he certainly has.
Did I just jinx him, Dave?
Well, I don't know. Carolina is pretty good at blocking kicks. They have a good special teams. That one, no chance.
There we go. I knew it all along. I told you.
You can take a deep breath. Well, Jonathan's Miami Hurricanes program looking every bit the part of the U in this first half, with number 5 leading the way. Nkosi Parry, has he transformed this Miami team? Certainly looks like it here in this first half. 33-10 is our halftime score. Now Adnan, Joey, and Jesse in studio.
All right, Flem, thank you very much. It is indeed the Mazda halftime report. Miami
plays 2 for scores here. Shaq Quarterman getting through on a 3rd down blitz. Ball on the ground. Jonathan Garvin, scoop score. That is a country fumble. Nobody around, so you can scoop that up, take it on in.
For Miami, including their young quarterback, Nkosi Parry, made his first college start. Played extremely well in the first half, and the Hurricanes have the 33-10 lead. As we get ready to start the second half, Miami, most first half points against an ACC team since 2005. So it's been a long time. And, conference game in the first half that their offense played as well as it did. And you got to give some credit to the quarterback. The kickoff is going to go through the end zone. So that means a touchback. Dave Fleming, Jonathan Vilma, Gene Chizik here with you from Miami. And look, the quarterback did play well, but the defense I thought was a star.
It's been all about the defense. To get 2 touchdowns on turnovers in the first half of a game, that sets the tone. That means the defense has said, hey, put it on our shoulders and we will win this game for you. Manny Diaz emphasized both quarterbacks like to turn the ball over, and they've done a great job of capitalizing on it.
Well, came into the game averaging 11.5 tackles for loss a game. They're already up to 10 in the first half, so they're playing exactly the way they designed this defense to play.
Good to see Shaq Quarterman's in the game again.
Yeah, a guy who had several of those tackles for loss. Big hit from his teammate Michael Pinckney on first down. Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Well, guys, we see Nathan Elliott out there at quarterback for North Carolina. They had been relying on Chaz Surratt a lot toward the end of the first half, but Larry Fedora said he told his guys, we've got 30 more minutes. If we didn't turn the ball over, we'd be in this game. He trusts Nathan Elliott here, and he said they've got to make some big plays to score right now. Otherwise, he said, I'm not sure if we can climb back in this game.
Elliott with the completion, but meanwhile, number 55, Shaq Quarterman, is back down on the field, so he's trying to give it a go, but I think it's that same ankle that was hurting him from an ankle, lower leg, whatever it is. Yeah, first half.
He's going to have a coach or trainer pull him out of the game. He's a tough guy, tough individual, but it's going to be up to them to tell him you got to stop. He's not going to stop. He's going to keep going until he can't go anymore. So someone is going to have to say, all right, Shaq, let's look forward to the following week. We're good.
Well, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but when you play 8 games with a separated AC joint and just say, look, throw a strap on it and let me go, that's what he did last year. And he played at a high level. Do you know the pain tolerance that comes with that? So you're right, Jonathan. You got to pull this guy. This guy's a game day gladiator. Yeah. He is not coming out.
They're going to have to take his helmet.
He couldn't sleep on his left side last year during the football season. He couldn't raise his left arm up above sort of shoulder level. That throw is knocked away. Anthony Ratliff-Williams, though, came up with it on the deflection. What a catch for North Carolina and a first down.
I would say that's the quarterback really trusting his receiver. He throws up a 50-50 jump ball.
And did he catch it?
Did he catch? Doesn't look like he caught it.
Rolling on the field is a catch for a first down. The previous play is under review.
So for now, a 25-yard catch. I do believe that one will be coming back.
Timeout. Yeah.
So they're going to take a look. That'll give us a timeout. 33-10 Miami. Back right after this. Determination and grit that helps you score. Goodyear, more driven. From Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, the Hurricanes, 16th ranked team in the country, and maybe moving up with a different outlook on the rest of this year, the way their offense played. Best first half in an ACC game in more than a decade for Miami. The defense on the field now, and the ball's on the ground. A missed exchange. Miami thinks they have it. Carolina turned it over 3 times in the first half. Have they done it again? The answer is yes.
You know, Dave, I'm watching the body language of the North Carolina offense, and they look very uninterested right now. And it goes to, Gene, when we talk about the quarterback, and there's no leadership there.
Yeah, you're right, Jonathan. If you look at the body language right now, and this is what can't happen. These guys, they can't let this game get away from them. It's already, 33-10 at the half. This thing can't turn into a 50, 60-point game for Miami. Because, again, these guys have a long season in front of them. But right now, I agree with you. I don't like the body language. Somebody's got to gain the leadership role over there and say, look, guys, we got to make a stand.
Yeah, and it's tough because you look to your quarterback usually to be that leader and to set the tone. But neither one of them can do it because neither one of them are the official starters.
There is confusion on the Carolina side, that's for sure. The confusion seems to be evaporating for Miami because of the guy who's in to start the second half, Nkosi Parry. Travis Homer straight ahead. And a nice run for the Hurricanes. The redshirt freshman starting for the first time at Miami, first time in a couple years since he was a high school quarterback. He came in last week and electrified this stadium, this fan base, and maybe his teammates as well. They played a heck of a game offensively last week with Perry, and they have picked up right where they left off. He has taken every snap for Miami tonight. Their offense has been prolific. 2nd and 5 for Perry and the Hurricanes. Still waiting to get the ball snapped. Finally they do. Homer, another carry, and he will drag a defender for a first down, Miami.
And Nkosi Parry has been. We look at the stats. What I'm looking at is a quarterback that knows where to put the ball. He doesn't have a go-to guy, if you've noticed. He'll throw it to everyone. Everyone gets in the action. That means he knows how to read the defense and get the ball where it's supposed to be, not just to who he wants to get it to.
Well, he's being accurate on those down-the-field throws. He's 4 for 5 on passes of 12 to 30 yards, and he's 1 for 1 on the shots of passes over 30 yards. So right now his accuracy is very impressive.
He's not piling up numbers on dink and dunk. He was going down the field. Homer tackled after a gain of 2 on first down.
And it goes back to my surprise that we expected a little disguise from the secondary of North Carolina. Haven't seen much of that. He's able to sit there, read the defense. It's the same defense before the snap as it is after the snap, and he's killing them.
Well, go down to that red zone touchdown back in the second quarter.
Yeah.
You know, the window was only about 6 inches for him to put the ball in, and he lasered it.
Yeah.
He lasered it right in there for a touchdown. But again, it goes back to his accuracy and how good he is tonight.
2nd and 9 for Miami. Their first drive after halftime, after coming up with a turnover, and that's a sack for Carolina. The ball comes out. Tar Heels have it, scooped up by the big defensive lineman. And North Carolina comes up with the turnover. Jeremiah Clark got the ball. Tar Heels will have it back, and maybe that's the first mistake from the freshman. So Nkosi Parry puts the ball on the ground. The Tar Heels needed that badly.
He may have been down by contact.
Over 4 times. I think Miami wants to look at it. No, I think the ball was out.
That ball's out.
That one's going to stand. Carolina will have conditions, damage from water and wind. Obviously, a big part of life down here in South Florida. Huge part of life in the last few weeks for all the folks in the state of North Carolina that we are still thinking about as they recover from Florence. And the Tar Heels football team has certainly pitched in that effort. They used their truck. They gathered up as many supplies as they could, and they have done more than just these photos show. But the players, the coaches have all been involved in helping out the many thousands of people whose lives have been changed dramatically in North Carolina, and good for Coach Fedora and his kids for pitching in. 2nd down, and a tackle behind the line of scrimmage again. Mike Smith, who's come in for the injured Shaq Quarterman, and he's playing like Shaq plays. He stuffs that play. It's 3rd down. Let's go down to Laura.
Dave, Shaq Quarterman taken to the locker room for Miami. They're looking at that left ankle. As we saw, he was dealing with a lot of pain. They're actually doing an x-ray on it to see what's going on. He had taped it heavily, but it was bothering him significantly even going into halftime.
Well, Miami will certainly hope for the best. One of their very best players. 3rd and 11. Another uncomfortable spot for Elliott and the Tar Heels. They're just handing the ball off, and Miami saw that coming. Gerald Willis with the tackle. It's 4th down.
Well, you look at this, and look, the last 4 third downs have been 3rd and 13, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15. What happened? They tried to get a little exotic. They tried to throw the football down the field, turned into turnovers, sacks. So again, they got conservative on that. Again, you know, you got to make a decision. What do you want to do? You want to try to keep in the game, throw the ball down the field? But the risk is turnovers and sacks.
At this point, what does it matter? You're already down 3 scores. You got to go for it.
Yeah, that was a very conservative call from Carolina, and indicative of how poorly things have gone for their offense since the first few minutes of the game. Things have not gone poorly for the Miami offense. Nkosi Parry making his first start. He is a redshirt freshman from the state of Florida, recruited by just about everybody, Vanguard High School, and initially committed to Miami. When the coaching change happened, decommitted, recommitted to Coach Richt. 3rd-ranked dual quarterback in that 2017 class. A couple of guys ahead of him.
They're pretty good.
They are pretty good. It's good company. Last week was his first extended action, and he just got everybody around this program so excited about the way the offense looked with Nkosi Parry back there, and I think that excitement has not been diminished by the way they play tonight. Around the edge, Dallas really had nowhere to go. Pushed out of bounds. Well, our PlayStation Player Index on Nkosi Parry. First career start. 7 for 10, 121 yards. He's rushed the ball. He's moved it around. He's orchestrated the offense beautifully.
He's done a tremendous job, and it's really encouraging because it's in conference play, not just an FIU opponent.
And look, the score's 33-10. These are all important snaps for a guy who's still learning. Maybe that's part of the reason behind sticking with the young quarterback. We figured we might have a rotation. That one into traffic, tipped up and intercepted. Good play on the ball by North Carolina. Now the return coming the other way. It is Bryson Richardson. So the second straight turnover for Miami, and that will irritate Coach Richt and the Hurricanes. Maybe the only way that North Carolina can get back in this game. That's a second one in a row for Miami.
Well, again, I think this is a great job by the University of North Carolina defense. Look, guys, they're not quitting. They're staying with this. That was a throw that he probably wished he had it back. He tried to hit the seam ball. The safety was over the top. The nickel was underneath it. And North Carolina just, quite frankly, made a great play on it. But that's 2 turnovers. Now they've shifted field position to keep Carolina battling to try to get back into this game.
Well, North Carolina's not going to score any points if they start running the ball again on 3rd and long. They have to really push the issue.
Elliott tipped, incomplete with a penalty flag thrown. All kinds of contact in the backfield in both directions. Gerald Willis got a hand up on the ball. So we'll see what the call is with this ACC crew.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense, number 9, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Wow, so Willis, who tipped the ball, gets called for the penalty. He's wondering what happened. It's a second 15-yard penalty against Gerald Willis, who's having a monster year. He's been one of the most disruptive players in college football. 2 big mistakes tonight, though.
Yeah, but that one's different than the other one. That one is what I call a get after a penalty. He was fighting and clawing and scratching to get to the quarterback. The previous one was just a flagrant personal foul that could have been avoided. That one, you line up, you say, hey, great effort, let's go, and let's play it again.
Well, first down Carolina, just when it looked like maybe they were down and out of this game. A chance at least to make Miami sweat a little bit. The handoff, Brown got to the corner, inside the 15, still on his feet inside the 10. It's going to be 1st and goal. Tar Heels, Jordan Brown with the carry.
Tell you what, I like what North Carolina's doing, though. They're still committed to running the football. They're saying, look, we still got 1 quarter and 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in another. Let's try to go back to what worked for us at the beginning of the game. What was it? Running the football. They already have 160 yards rushing, 157 yards rushing, on their way to 200.
That has been impressive. All of their explosive plays on offense have come on the ground. And the ball off, left side running, and a gain of a couple of yards on 1st down for the Tar Heels.
Now, watching that Tar Heel offense, they had found something on the weak side to start the 1st half. It looks like they're trying to go back to that now, finding something on the weak side of that Miami defense. And you notice they keep running to the left. They have 2 receivers down at the bottom, and they keep running to the top side. They have numbers on that side over there.
And Larry Fedora looked super agitated as they set that play up, and that play was going nowhere. I mean, the head coach was fuming before they even snapped the ball, and he's even more unhappy now.
Well, this is a situation they just have not been very effective in. Now you're 3rd and goal on the 8-yard line. 3rd downs have not been kind to North Carolina. So again, Larry's got to come up with a great play here.
They have a penalty, late penalty.
Looks like it could be some sort of personal foul again, maybe on the sideline.
Pass interference, offense, number 17, blocking downfield, 15-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd down again. It was just so late, the call. I think everybody's confused. Ratliff gets called for the penalty. That moves him back 15 yards. See if we can spot what happened.
It almost looks as if Ratliff thought it was a running play. And he's looking and saying, well, Nothing. That did a good job. If it were a run play.
Well, it was the right call because I was scratching my head on that too.
Yeah.
And now you sit there and you look at him. He's literally stalk blocking in the end zone.
An unhappy head coach. Second and goal. All the way back at the 22. Elliott throws. That one was going nowhere again. In fact, here's where it's going, way back. And I mean way back. Swarmed by the Hurricanes defense, Daz Newsome.
I do not understand the play calling right now. I mean, you got to get back. The only way to get back is get vertical, not lateral. Miami is too fast defensively. You have one guy in the quarterback's face. You have 3, 4, 5 guys swarming to the ball. You have to get north and south as quickly as possible or run the ball. Don't do that.
They go backwards again. They're going to be out of field goal range. Of course, at this point, field goals might not do the Tar Heels much good.
Well, this is where you try to throw it deep, see if you can complete it or get a personal or a pass interference.
Little play fake. The pressure picked up into coverage. Almost intercepted. They're going to try a field goal, and they probably don't have any other choice on 4th and goal from outside the 30. So basically 4th and 31 yards. So they'll try a long field goal. That was ugly for the Tar Heels offense.
Well, there's so much pressure on the quarterback right now. And it doesn't matter whether Manny Diaz is bringing 4, 5, or 6, sometimes 3. There's pressure on. It doesn't matter what quarterback it is. There's always pressure in his face. That's a tough night.
48-yard try for Freeman Jones. The kick is off the upright and no good. That kind of night for Carolina. So they had 1st and goal and end up having to try a 48-yard field goal, and this happened. Right off the post, no good. Miami's lead stays the same, and Coach Fedora wondering what he can do to get that offense going. Well, we're back here in Miami where the Hurricanes take over after the long missed field goal. 2 turnovers on the last 2 drives for Miami, though, so we'll see if they can be a little sharper this time. 7:27 to go, 3rd quarter. Still with the big lead, 33-10, and they're going to keep it on the ground to Travis Halbert for a short gain on 1st down. Let's go down to Laura.
Well, Dave, Nkosi Parry very upset with himself on the sideline after those 2 turnovers, particularly after the interception. And I'm interested in Coach Chiswick's opinion on this. Obviously, you take the scoreboard out of this, but how important is it, Coach, to see what your quarterback, a young quarterback, does now after the first adversity he's faced in the game?
Yeah, that's a great call on that, Lori. Look, I look for that, and I call it command presence. Guys that have that presence about them, it doesn't matter whether it's good, it doesn't matter whether it's bad, they're always the same. And the way he responds to this is going to matter.
He got pressured right away, had to scramble. Now there is a penalty flag thrown. A little hit toward the out of bounds. We'll see whether that's holding or something else.
Holding, offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And Gene, I get that you want to see how he commands this offense and what he's going to do, but I would rather see the offense get calmed down by the running game. Go back to Travis Homer. Go back to DJ Dallas. Put it on the offensive line and not force the issue with Nkosi Parry. Look, he's going to play a great game. Just let the game come to him as opposed to forcing it.
Yeah, he definitely needs that. And again, but you know what? It's all about, Jonathan, body language. It's about the players after he turns the ball over. What does he look like on the bench? What is he when he fumbled the ball? What does he look like after he threw the pick? That's back-to-back. So, you know, everybody's going to look to him on how he responds. Whether they run it or throw it, he's got to respond favorably so his teammates say, this is our guy.
Well, a fumble. Homer put it on the ground, and now he's going to be tackled for a loss. It was already 2nd and 18. Miami's going way backwards now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave. North Carolina defensive front, they have a beat on Miami. Every time Miami starts in the pistol and they bring Travis over to the left or the right, you'll see the defensive line stunt one way or another right before the snap. They're becoming wide open, untouched, and they're creating havoc in the backfield right now.
Yeah, let's not forget, guys, Miami has 33 points. 14 of those came when the defense wasn't even on the field. They were offensive turnovers. 17 of their points have come off of turnovers. Right now, North Carolina's defense is they're in the process of making 3 really good stands.
It's 3rd and 26 for Parry and Miami. Play fake, immediate pressure again. Nkosi Parry scrambling, keeping the play alive, and he's going to run all the way back across the field. Can he get away? No. Parry got some of the yardage back. It'll be 4th down.
Right now, it's a tale of 2 halves. North Carolina has all the momentum. They've created the turnovers. They're in the backfield. They're the ones creating the havoc right now. And defensively, they're getting after it. Miami has to take back the momentum by running the ball or creating big plays, and they have to start it fast because they score a touchdown right here. We're talking a 2-score game with a whole nother quarter left to go.
That's right. And look, you got to give credit to these guys battling on defense to get the offense back into the game. This is a huge, potentially a huge field position shift in yardage that's kind of hidden. Everybody kind of forgets about that. But this is huge by 3 straight stands by the North Carolina defense. John Papuchi's had those guys playing hard. They're not quitting.
Jack Spicer, a little less dramatic, but a change at punter, just like a change at quarterback for the Hurricanes tonight. He got pressured and got it off. As Newsome, though, returnable with his speed along the sideline. North Carolina is going to have great field position when their offense comes back on the field. That's the issue, though. The momentum, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. An huge game in the Big Ten. Our weekend menu served up to you by Zaxby's. It's not just that game, although that's the headliner. Syracuse-Clemson. Remember, Syracuse beat Clemson last year. Plus the big story of the change in quarterback for Clemson, even more dramatically than Miami, because Kelly Bryant has left the program. He's transferring out. Now the ball's out again. I thought he was down, and I think he was down.
Yeah, ref is saying he was down.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the offense. 2nd down.
We're going to have to take a look at this. This was close. Thomas Jackson was going down. They say it was a fumble recovered by the offense.
That ball was out. That was a fumble. The ball was out.
But Jake Vargas, the tight end, apparently did come up with it. So that could have been another turnover for North Carolina. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
And Dave, going back to Kelly Bryant, you listen to his comments, and it makes sense from his perspective. And it's hard as a fan, it's hard as the player to say, okay, well, who's right, who's wrong? I can see where he's coming from. But then as a coach and you say, well, I got to make the best decision for the team.
And here's the difference between Miami's situation and Clemson's situation as they look at this upstairs. And they'll look, I mean, whether it's a fumble or not, Carolina did recover the football. But back to your point about Clemson and Miami and the difference, Malik Rozier, he's a 5th-year senior, so he's not leaving this program. Plus, they have 2 other quarterbacks they like on this roster at Miami. For Clemson, you make the change, you put the true freshman in charge. Now, look, we're not rooting for anything to happen to him, but if something were to happen, the depth is gone at Clemson at that position.
That's very true. They went from being stacked at the position to being very thin. But I also give Dabo credit because he had to make the best decision, and maybe he thought about the redshirt, the new 4-game rule or not. But if he did think about it, he's giving Kelly Bryant that opportunity to go.
He is. Now, it sounded like he really tried to convince Kelly to stay.
That's tough. And you can't do that.
He did make that decision within the window where Bryant can get the other year with the new rule. That pass is complete for a 1st down. Carl Tucker. And it is amazing how it's become such a big story in college football. Jalen Hurts, Kelly Bryant, Malik Rozier, Brandon Wimbush, all 10-win teams, 2 playoff quarterbacks from last year. All have been replaced, not graduated, not moved on, although Kelly Bryant now has, but all have been replaced after those highly successful years. I can't ever remember a flurry of those kinds of moves happening like we've had in the last few weeks.
And to your point, the most surprising is Kelly Bryant. The others, they were glaring issues, glaring accuracy issues, reading the defense issues that everyone had seen from the prior years, just that the team overcame it. Kelly Bryant was surprising because those issues weren't glaring, and he was playing good football.
Nathan Elliott stays on the field for North Carolina. They've got quarterback issues in a different way. The Tar Heels do. Elliott swings it out to the right side. Williams slips one tackle and a second. Williams tough running with a penalty flag thrown. I think this one could be coming back.
Yeah, we got to hold him down there.
Let me go back to that conversation about quarterbacks and the transferring.
Illegal block in the back. Number 86, offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
I'm going to give you a different perspective that I don't like. When you look at the way the quarterback scenarios are happening nowadays with transferring, right? A coach's perspective is, look, you know what? We got to make a decision that's the best for the team. And in football and in coaching, I don't like that guys. I understand it because guys got to do what's best for them. But, you know, I look at the team and I look at the way it used to be. Guys, if you got beat out, you just stuck it back in there and tried to come and get your way back into the job. But nowadays, it's changed. It's changed dramatically. It's changed dramatically with quarterbacks feeling like, you know what, if I'm not the guy, I'm leaving. And it's different than it used to be.
Can I at least make one point?
Yes.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. Coaches pushed for this rule change.
I agree.
Coaches were the reason why this rule got tweaked, and they led the charge. And I think it's a rule that ultimately serves the players, the student athletes, gives them freedom to get an extra year of playing time, whatever, but it has drastically altered
I look at it
the
from
way
the
this
players'
is going to go.
perspective. The players are now realizing this is more of a business. It used to be back when I played, you coach, this was more about the team, camaraderie, and everyone really enjoying the love of the game. Now it's become such a big business. Coaches have 3 years max.
Hey, every guy has a brand. Every guy's, this is my brand.
Exactly.
And if my brand is not going the way I want it to go, I got to leave. Look, I understand it. I don't always agree with it, but let me say this. That's why I look at a guy like Jalen Hurts, and I have unbelievable respect for the way he's carried himself through this whole process. And some of these other guys as well, but that's a great example.
So it's 3rd and 12 for North Carolina, desperately needing something positive on offense. They've had a lot of these 3rd and longs.
Yeah, it's been a common theme all game long. We know that they wanted to stay out of 3rd and 12, not let Manny Diaz get into his defenses, but they couldn't stop this defense. It's been too good.
They handled the pressure pretty well, but Elliott still could not complete the pass. So it's 4th down, and North Carolina's going to have to punt the ball back. Well, it's a discussion that's going to continue on in this sport, not just in the next few weeks, but this rule change, and you guys referenced, Jonathan, I think it was you who said something in there about coaches don't have a long leash.
Right.
Almost without exception, there's more pressure on. We're standing next to a guy who won a national championship and lost his job a couple of years later.
Oh, yeah, there's no forgiveness. There's no forgiveness. You have to win now, and that's why Mark Richt, Nick Saban, all these guys, Dabo, you have to make the decision that gives your team the best chance to win. And then, you know what? Whatever the consequences are, you deal with it. And that's where they got to go with it.
I think Nick's feeling pretty comfortable. Mile High on ESPN, in Spanish on ESPN2. It'll stream on the ESPN app. What a start to Patrick Mahomes. Speaking of quarterback changes and a coach rolling the dice and saying goodbye to a guy who'd been a good player and making the switch, my goodness.
They do it at every level. It's every level.
Do.
It's not specific to college.
Well, that move looks like it's going to pay off big time. Alex Smith is still a really good player, but wow, Patrick Mahomes. 4th and 12. Carolina's going for it. They're not punting it. Elliott down the field, kind of a back shoulder throw, and Ratliff Williams makes a catch. Got his foot down inbounds. A huge conversion for the Tar Heels just to have a chance here tonight. They convert on 4th and long.
People have no idea how difficult this throw is and how difficult it is for a DB to defend the back shoulder throw, particularly in that 20-yard area. If the ball's thrown correctly, it's impossible to defend.
And that's kind of that aggression that Jonathan's been talking about that Carolina needed to show. A huge hit on the quarterback. And Elliott is going to take his time getting up.
They have to force the issue. I understand the game plan for North Carolina was to run the ball, play good defense. They didn't expect the turnovers. They didn't expect the touchdowns off the turnovers. But you always have to play the game within the game. Once it gets out of hand, you have to stretch the field. If you don't stretch the field, well, we're going to sit here and watch the end of the 4th quarter. It'll still be 33-10.
All the tackles for loss, all the negative plays, the turnovers. That was the best pass play of the night for North Carolina. The 4th down conversion. Not the 1st down play where he got smoked and threw it away. Now it's 2nd and 10. Elliott. There's that perimeter throw. And Miami's just defended those beautifully.
They're too fast. This reminds me of, forget my defenses when I played, the defenses I watched when I played. And it's not just the Miami defense. When the Miami versus Florida State defenses go up against each other, they were so fast and so quick.
All right, it's 3rd and 11. We're changing quarterbacks again. Carolina, Chaz Surratt, who was pretty explosive in the first half, also careless with the ball.
Yeah, I'm expecting more of the run, the play action to try to set up a pass, but he hasn't shown the ability to throw the ball downfield.
Final half minute of the 3rd quarter. Hurricanes defense licking its chops. Play clock winding down, and they're going to have to call a timeout. They couldn't get the play off. They burned another timeout. So they only have one on the board at halftime. Now their offense has slowed down considerably. The problem for North Carolina is the Tar Heels offense has been going nowhere. And the 3rd down numbers tell part of the story. The turnovers tell part of the story. They love their defense in this program. Jonathan Vilma was a big part of it. Gene Chizik, a guy who knows good defense, has had a lot of good defenses in his day. And we have seen the Hurricanes flying around tonight. It's 3rd and 11. Play clock winding down again out of the timeout. They get the play snapped. Good protection. Surratt throws. It is complete. And that's well short of the mark.
They'll go for it on 4th down. They already went for it on 4th and 12 with Elliott. I like that play because it gives them a manageable 4th down to get to. I just don't trust Chaz in this position, to be quite honest with you, because he hasn't shown anything that would threaten the Miami defense.
Well, the one thing about Carolina is they get a few moments to think about what their 4th down play call will be. We'll have that and the 4th quarter from Miami after this. Offense. Now we start the 4th quarter, and if North Carolina has any chance in this game, 4th down, they got to get it here and get points in a hurry. 15 minutes to go, 33-10 the score. Chaz Surratt throws, and it's intercepted. And this one may come back. We'll see. Surratt, can he catch him? The answer is no. All the way, end zone, touchdown, Romeo Fenley. Touchdown for the Miami defense in this game.
And Dave, we go back to Miami is not threatened by Chaz in the passing game, and this is why. It's a poor read. He stares down the receiver. Here comes the turnover chain. Love it.
5 times they've broken it out in this game. They had come up with 6 turnovers total in their first 4 games, and not just the turnovers tonight.
The touchdowns.
3 defensive touchdowns.
You know, Manny talked about that yesterday, that sometimes they come in spurts. Remember, we talked about it. Look, turnover chain, the whole deal. Yeah. But they come in spurts. But this is a great job by the defense. Like you said, Jonathan, Chaz was staring down where he's going to roll. Yeah. But he never saw Finley. He threw the ball. Look at Finley standing right in the throwing lane of the slant. He never saw him. That's an easy pick 6.
Gene, that tells me he's not reading the defense. He had predetermined before the ball was snapped where he was going to go. Oh, man, he's having fun.
He almost got tossed into the end zone there. 40-10 Hurricanes. Romeo Finley, he ran so far. That was an 83-yard return. He was cramping up.
That's why he's not getting up. He's going to sit right there for a little while.
I'm wearing this chain. We're coming back on the field as a defense. I may be sitting right here. And you've seen the looks on the sideline in the stands from the Carolina fans who are here.
Dejected.
I mean, just a disaster for the North Carolina offense. This is a program that, Gene and company have had good defenses, but Larry Fedora, he's an offensive mind. They have put points and yards on the board, and this season almost nothing but frustration for Carolina.
Well, let's be honest, okay? Mitch Trubisky was the second pick of the draft. When we came down here 2 years ago and we beat Miami, we beat them. One of the reasons is because we had a great quarterback. And look, guys, this isn't rocket science. Look at every team in the country that's good. They've all got quarterbacks. Yep. This is a quarterback league just like the NFL is a quarterback league. And here's the reality of it. If you struggle at quarterback, you struggle winning games. That's what you're seeing tonight. It doesn't matter whether it's Chaz Surratt. It doesn't matter whether it's Nathan Elliott. They're both struggling right now in throwing the football. It's very frustrating because, look, Larry's had really good offenses over the years. These guys are struggling right now.
Can you ever remember a team? Miami just called a timeout. Their defense is so tired from returning turnovers that they needed a few minutes because the defense is going to have to come back on the field. They just used a timeout after a defensive touchdown just to give their guys a breather.
Dave, it has been a long time since I've seen the defense need to call a timeout
after a return for
and
a touchdown.
So.
Yeah. They earned it. A few extra moments on the sideline. This has been the story of the night. I mean, it's really been remarkable. Not just turnovers, but points for this Hurricanes defense.
Well, let's be honest. This is one of the best defensive performances, Jonathan, that I've seen any defense put on the field in any league. Yes. You talk about the Alabamas of the world. You talk about the Ohio States of the world, the Clemsons of the world. This performance is really outdoing any performance I've seen so far this year.
Gene, it has been strong. It has been sound. They gave up a few plays in the running game. Outside of that, it's been complete domination.
I mean, if it's just the Miami defense against North Carolina, it's a 21-10 game. Carolina carries the ball on first down. Oh, why don't we say hi again to Laura?
Well, Dave, I had asked Nathan Elliott and a few other North Carolina players if they thought at all about the turnover chain coming into this game. And they said, no, we really try to ignore it. It's just a gimmicky thing that they have. I bet they're thinking about it now. But I'm wondering, even from Jonathan's perspective, you think it gets in opposing offenses' heads, or is it just a credit to this Miami defense for being that good?
I think it definitely gets in their head.
I mean, one thing is they make such a show out of it when they come up with a turnover. It's not just the chain on the sideline. The guy, whoever gets it, stands up on the bench, poses for the crowd. It's not like the visiting team isn't seeing that.
Exactly, and I think what happens is the players say it's not in our head, but they try so hard not to turn the ball over, so this is all they're thinking about, as opposed to just playing the game.
You know, we just saw a shot there of Manny Diaz. Look, this is great play by the defensive line, the secondary, everybody. Let's give Manny Diaz a lot of credit, because you know what? Yes, he's got talent. These guys are in the right spots and play hard. Look at that physical play on the perimeter. We talked about their speed. Look at the way their DBs are coming up and making contact.
Yep.
And this is the way Manny Diaz's defenses have been designed all the way back to the days when he was at NC State, Middle Tennessee. You can track it all the way back. He's one of the best in the business. And again, they lead the country in a lot of categories for a reason.
And if you don't have the quarterback play to beat these pressures, you're doomed.
And Gene, to your point, it's not so much about scheme anymore. We're late in the game. It's about the fundamentals. It's about hustling. It's about tackles. It's about getting off blocks. And they do that at a high rate. They do it as good as you mentioned, the Alabamas of the world, the Clemsons of the world. Now, again, there are a few things they have to show up in the run game. Outside of that, though, it is lights out.
A very late substitution for the Miami defense. And will it matter? It will not. Another tackle for a loss. They were basically playing 10 against 11 for that play. And yet they get the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Zach McLeod.
Well, when you go to the game plan right now for Carolina, it really looks like to just get out of here. That's how they're looking. That's how they're playing. The body language of the offensive line, the quarterback reads right now, not even looking downfield. Everything is a check down, these screens out to the sideline.
All the progress of last week, they came up with a win in their conference opener, and they put 38 on the board against Pitt. Maybe could have been even more.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about these lateral plays. They're not going to work against a team this fast. I mean, you try to do this against Alabama all day, you'll get blown out the same way. You can't do this. You're going to have to stretch the field.
Well, you look at third downs. Third downs are a huge issue. Right now, going into that 3rd and 13, they were averaging 3rd and 12. Okay, that's not good for an offense. That's nearly impossible to convert. That's why you see them right now on third downs being 1 of 12. Now they're going to go for it on 4th down. But 3rd and 12 is not manageable.
No. 4th and 7. Pressure comes, throw, not even close.
No. Nice tight man defense.
Jackson was covered, and the pass was way behind. Larry Fedora, at least a little glimpse of South Beach. Nkosi Parry and the Miami offense back on the field. 11:30 to go, 40-10. And likely the ground game from here on out for the Hurricanes. Dallas still running hard. Nkosi Parry has played every snap on offense. Now, truth be told, it hasn't been a lot of snaps because of the defensive prowess of the Hurricanes. 35 plays total for Miami's offense. That's it. Not many of them after halftime. But Mark Richt, part of the discussion he had with us was, hey, still could be a timeshare. You may still see both of them. I'm not telling you what I'm going to do at the quarterback position. His actions are telling us Nkosi Parry has played every snap of this game.
Yeah, and Rick alluded to, hey, I have a set time of when I want to bring Rozier in, but if Parry is playing well, we're going to keep the hot hand. And Parry started off this game very hot, played very well, cooled off in the second half. But this is time for him to now get better and understand what it is to finish a game. Because right now, as good as Miami has looked offensively, 0 points in the second half.
0 for the offense.
For the offense. Defensively, they scored. Offensively, they can look and say there are a lot of coaching corrections, teaching tapes that we can use from this second half.
Well, the chain gang did not get word that that's a first down. That's definitely a first down. Right around midfield. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a blowout game, but for Nkosi Parry and the offense, a chance maybe to rev it up one more time. The reps are important for a red shirt making the first start of his college career. I think the numbers do undersell. He's played a nice game tonight.
Yeah.
Now a handoff, and Dallas around the corner. Penalty flag comes. Dallas is going to go down. Stay in bounds, keep the clock moving, but then he looks behind and sees that yellow flag on the grass.
Block in the back. Number 8, offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
You know, going back to Nkosi Parry, you know, obviously you'd like him to play a perfect game, but, you know, he's done some things tonight, as you mentioned, Jonathan, that are really, really good, especially for a first-time starter. Yeah. But he's also got some great teaching moments in there that they're going to be able to sit down when they go over the film tomorrow and say, look, number one, what is the number one issue that every quarterback has to deal with first? Ball protection, ball security, right? So 2 series in a row, if you remember, that could have been catastrophic for Miami because those could have turned into 14 points on the swing. Now, obviously, Miami's defense stepped up to the plate, but there's going to be plenty of teaching moments for him because he's played well, but he's also had some things that he can learn from.
Almost ideal, spoken like a head coach. Gene Chizik, you win the game and then you teach, and Travis Homer shedding Carolina defenders for a first down run.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Gene, because that's what can give Miami a false sense of security, especially on the offensive side, when you look at the score, but say, hey, wait, remember, we didn't put up all those points offensively. And yes, it's a team game. We're excited that everyone's scoring. We're having fun. But against a better team, a better quarterback, as you mentioned, those could have easily been 2 touchdowns, and we're talking a 1-score game.
Yeah, you're right, Jonathan. If you look at the stats, you're looking at 161 yards rushing for Miami, 198 for Miami, 161 for UNC. Look at the passing yards, 121 for Miami, 114 for UNC. They're not that far apart. What separates these two right now? Turnovers.
Yes.
defensive negative plays and turnovers for Miami.
Hurricanes have averaged twice as many yards per play as Carolina. They've run a lot fewer plays tonight. No gain on that first down run from the junior tailback, Travis Homer. Well, I also wonder, Parry comes in. The point is well taken, but even just the threat of the more accurate downfield passer, having to account for the weapons on the outside.
Yeah.
Forget the numbers, just the presence of a guy who clearly can beat a team going down the field with the speed that Miami has, how that affects the defense against the Hurricanes.
Yes, and what I'd like to see more of is just the attempts downfield, because you put that on film. Now a defensive coordinator has to say, okay, we know that they're going to at least try to do this, so we have to adjust, and we have to game plan for it. And if you don't put enough of those shots downfield on film, then they're going to say, well, we're going to load it up and see if you can beat us. It's not a foregone conclusion that Nkosi Parry can hit the deep ball consistently. He did it well against FIU. He's hit intermediate passes today, but the deep ball, not so sure, not yet at least. Now, can he do it? Of course, we're sure he can do it, but we need to put that on film, and that's what brings fear into the opposing defenses for future games.
It's 3rd and 6 here. Clock winding. That's what Miami wants. From a pistol-type formation, they will hand it off. DJ Dallas bounces it. First down and more. Stays in bounds, then goes out of bounds. That's not going to stop the clock for too long. Another Miami first down.
You know, you look at this running game and you look at Mark Richt over his career. I've defended this guy 7, 8 different straight years when he was at Georgia. 2 years ago when we were here. When he is successful offensively, he can run the football. What happened in the LSU game? They rushed for 83 yards. They couldn't get the run game going. This is great work for these backs tonight. DJ Dallas is working on 100 yards. Homer is right at 85 yards. So they got to continue to work in the run game as well. Again, that'll complement what Parry does, throwing the football moving forward as well.
Goes down Miami. Dallas, nice cut. Dallas to the 10. Inside the 10, it's going to be 1st and goal for the Hurricanes. Our ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Check it out. Get more ESPN and download it now. ESPN Plus. All kinds of great content on there. 1st and goal, Miami.
Gene, what I like seeing right now, the offensive line in the run game, you're taught the running back only has to make one guy miss. After that, they should be out the gate. And I like that the offensive line, they're getting on their guys. The Travis Homer, DJ Dallas, they only have to make one guy miss, and then it's out the gate.
This time it's Homer. Cuts it upfield, lowered those shoulder pads inside the 5 down to the 3.
You know, the other thing that just is glaring to me tonight is you look at a guy like Homer who's only a 200-pound back. These backs are running physical. DJ Dallas, they get on the perimeter. They're not trying to make one cut necessarily every time. They will put their pads down and get vertical on you, and they will make you pay for it as a safety or a corner. I like the physicality. And to your point, John, this is 4-minute offense for Miami. Yep. They're saying, let's grind this thing out. Let's wind the clock down to 2 seconds. Let's physically take over the line of scrimmage. And that's what they're getting out of this portion of the game right now, and they're doing it well.
We haven't even seen the true freshman, Lorenzo Lingard, who they say is the fastest player on their team. True freshman running back, legs churning toward the goal line. And apparently Gray stopped a little bit short.
And that's what I would like to see more of from this Miami offense. More runs between the tackles. When you see a lot of DJ Dallas, Travis Homer, they're patient backs. They break it to the outside. They make a guy miss. But when you're really playing good offensive run game football, you can run between the tackles against anybody.
And they will get some challenges this year from some of the guys, some of the folks coming up, the Virginia Techs of the world.
Yes.
We're going to challenge them, and they're going to have to be able to do that on a consistent basis to get back to that ACC championship game.
But that was an anomaly, what happened with Brett Foster's defense against Old Dominion. Miami better not expect that come late November. Right. Brett Foster's defense will be ready for that.
North Carolina, their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
So they might have had to call a timeout to avoid a penalty, which once you're on the 1, I'm not sure what the value in that is. Half the distance is not much distance. We are back here in Miami. Final minutes of a whooping. Miami 40, North Carolina 10. They did take a look at that last run. Sure looked to me like Trayon Gray got in the end zone, but the person whose opinion actually matters said ball stands, no touchdown, so it'll be 3rd and goal from about the half-yard line for the Hurricanes. See if they can punch it in and put an exclamation point on what has been a methodical beating of a team that has played them very tough in the last few years in the ACC.
Look for a repeat of the same play, Dave, or a fade route. There it is, repeat, touchdown.
This time he's definitely in. So Gray gets the score.
Like you get a hat on a hat, as we call it. Too easy.
Well, again, you got a 240-pound fullback there. You got to give these guys some love, right? They do all the dirty work. They do all the blocking.
He didn't do a lot of dirty work today, Gene.
No, he didn't. But in general, that's his job description. So when you get a chance, look, hey, they thought he was going to score on the play before. Give it to the big fella again and let him get 6. Go home happy tonight, right?
Yeah, a little glory for the fullback. Never hurts. 47-10 Miami with 4 minutes and 4 seconds still to go. Final minutes in this ACC opener for the Hurricanes when we come back. All right, so it is looming on Saturday night from Happy Valley. The Nittany Lions and the Buckeyes. Ohio State, Penn State, top 10 matchup. Ohio State went to that, quote, neutral site and took apart TCU. Now on the road, true road game for Dwayne Haskins. Really his first, and there were a lot of Ohio State fans at Jerry's World in Arlington, so we'll see. It'll be a heck of an atmosphere. We'll stream on the app, 7:30 Eastern again for Penn State, Ohio State. Jonathan, Gene both gave us some keys. Jonathan, what's your key for the game?
Well, it's that defensive line. Nick Bosa won't be playing, but they still have Draymond Jones and Chase Young. Absolutely disruptive. Might be the second best D-line in the country right now behind Clemson. They are going to be the key to that game to Trace McSorley.
So we'll see if Penn State can at least give their senior quarterback, who's just been spectacular. How good has Trace McSorley been? Some time to make some plays. He's got weapons. He's got a lot of ability. Will he have the time and the chance to make good on that ability? First down, Carolina. As we put this one to bed, the Tar Heels trying to get back home and regroup. Gene, meanwhile, what about your thoughts on Ohio State, Penn State?
Well, I think in huge games, guys, look, it all comes down to explosive plays and limiting them. If Penn State's defense can limit Ohio State on explosive plays, look, they can throw it, they can run it. They've scored 30 touchdowns this year, guys, in 4 games, which is number 2 in the country. Out of those 30, 12 touchdowns are 20 yards or greater.
Wow.
That's a lot of explosive plays.
Give a lot of credit to Dwayne Haskins. He's really ignited that offense. You talk about stretching the field and going vertical. Him and Tua Tagovailoa, they are really, really good.
And can I also add, nobody asked me for my keys to the game.
No, we didn't, Dave.
No, you didn't,
no.
But I do want to add.
We were going to ask you afterwards.
Yes, after the game.
Yeah. Ohio State's defense has given up some big plays of their own. So and you're right, the defensive line talent, there's a lot of talent on that defense, but we even saw Oregon State go to Columbus and they made a bunch of big plays, racked up some yards. So
to your point, after the defensive line, they're pretty average.
Yeah.
The linebackers are good, not great. Secondary is good, not great. And it's been very interesting to watch because as soon as Oregon State, for example, got past that first line of defense, which was the defensive line, they're making big plays. TCU, man, they had a great game plan against them. They started swinging the ball out, get it away from the defensive line. Then when they got the defensive line tired, that's when they started running the ball more.
Yeah, you could see TCU had great team speed. What does Penn State have? They have great team speed as well. And look, if you can break that front seven and get into the second level and third level of the defense, obviously people have had success with that. And look, Penn State's got to create explosive plays as well as take those away from Ohio State's offense.
Yeah. And Ohio State definitely has talent on the back end at the linebacker. They have a lot of 4- and 5-star kids. They have talent, but this is a new group. They've lost a ton of those players to the NFL the last couple of years. And we'll see. This is a different test. Now, you go play TCU. That's a big test, but that place was full of Buckeyes fans. There will not be many in Happy Valley on Saturday night.
You're right. Now, what you mentioned, Gene, that Penn State defense, they've given up a lot of big plays as well, and they started slow in a lot of the games. So I need to see the Penn State defense live up to the hype of Penn State's offense, because Trace McSorley comes out swinging. He needs a little help.
Okay, we've got the keys. Do you have are you going to make a prediction? What do you think?
Man, putting me on the spot
yes,
already.
I am.
All right, fine.
Yes, I am.
Even though it's a Thursday, might change my mind. I'm taking.
I got a day to think about it.
I got a day to think about it. But I'm going to take Ohio State. As much as I talked about the defensive line, I think Dwayne Haskins will get the job done. He's a very, very good quarterback.
Coach, what do you think?
I think exactly the same thing. I think they're too explosive on offense, guys. They've got weapons. They can run the football. But Haskins has been playing lights out. Last week, he was 21 for 24 in one half of football, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The guy is on fire. He brings a run element to the game. He brings the element of the vertical passing game. I just think they're too explosive.
I have a feeling, it's just a feeling, I think it's going to be a good night for the Nittany Lions.
A good night as in they're going to win, or
Yeah.
statistically a good night?
No, they're going to win the game. I think that's the only thing at this point
And
that
what
will
will
qualify as
be
a good night.
the reason that they win?
I do believe that McSorley and company will make enough of those big plays, and the defense with the crowd helping. I mean, look, Dwayne Haskins is super talented. This is the first time he's going to experience anything like this.
Interesting. So if you had a choice between Dwayne Haskins right now, the way he's played, and Trace McSorley, who would you take?
I'm taking McSorley. I am.
Very interesting.
I'm taking McSorley.
I would take Dwayne.
And I can't blame you.
I will make a friendly $1 wager.
You're on.
Another turnover.
Did they get a final one?
Icing on the cake.
Yep. Pad the stats. Oh, they put it away.
They put it away?
Yeah. No, they have it ready. You gotta. I was thinking they were going to have to scramble and find it. Game's not over. 15 seconds. Get the chain out.
What, Bradley Jennings is ready to put it on.
It helps you score. Goodyear, more driven. And maybe a turnover chain or two. The final few seconds, it is Cade Weldon who gets to take the last snap. The only one that wasn't taken by Nkosi Parry. He is the story of the night. That and the powerful, explosive Hurricanes defense. A dominating win. 47-10 Miami over North Carolina. Visit Jonathan Vilma. Great to have you guys with us on Thursday Night
I would
Football.
love to do this more often.
Okay.
Yes.
Great time.
Love it.
Great time. Love it.
And Jonathan gets to walk out of here as an alum, honorary captain.
I brought the good luck. They obviously defense wanted to show out for me. I appreciate it.
Put on the turnover chain.
I will.